Hey everybody, my name actually is Ari Weil, not Ori. Ori couldn't make it. That's okay, it's a liberation. We give it to our investors all the time. So I'm here from Akiban Technologies, and Akiban Technologies, like Volt, started its life as an infrastructure company. We were working on database server software. So before I really get started, let me just do a show of hands to calibrate myself. How many people here know what GitHub is? Perfect. We are building the GitHub for data. In the modern world, we're seeing basically a shift from on-premise deployments of technology to increasingly companies and technologies are moving to the cloud. So you saw GitHub make something as simple and sort of boring as source control, something that's collaborative, something that's web-enabled, and something that distributed teams can do very, very easily in the cloud. Heroku has done something similar for application developers. If you want to push your GitHub repository code out into the cloud and have a running application, you can do a git push, and suddenly you have an application that's running in the cloud. Don't worry about provisioning the infrastructure for it. With Akiban, we have a fundamental and breakthrough technology in databases that we brought to market, that we took to customers, and that we did a few $100,000 in revenue with. But what we heard increasingly from our customers was, we really need you to make this easier for us. And we heard from financial services institutions, surprisingly, most loudly, we need this as a service. We don't want to take this through the centers of excellence and through the IT organizations because they're just too slow. They're too rigid, they're too old-fashioned. And so we're trying to take a technology that we know has legs for SQL and NoSQL type of access patterns, for developers who are looking to build applications that have to do complex and interesting things with data, and making that incredibly simple. And it's as simple as something I can show you right here. So if I'm your average developer today, and I'm building a NoSQL app, it doesn't really matter what type of an app it is. It could be JavaScript, it could be written in Node, it could be written in any number of technologies. I'm going to have a few pieces of information. I'll have a description file if I have a GitHub repository. It's going to explain to people what I'm building. I'll have some sort of code that works on my data, and then I'll have a model. In this case, a JSON document, which something like MongoDB, which is hugely popular, will use for its storage paradigm. CouchDB does the same thing. We're going to take these things together with an icon, and I'm going to drag them into our UI. It's going to allow me to change the names of these things, but what's more important than just dragging and dropping a file is what's actually happening right now. We're spinning up an AMI in Amazon. We're provisioning our database server technology. We're installing the database model. We're loading the data and the script files. And now I can access my data instantly in the cloud. I can do it for a distributed team of developers, provided that I give them the access parameters that are listed here. I can have a business-to-business interaction enabled that wasn't possible previously, because both sides would have had to do too much work. In this case, I can take what I've just done and publish it to what we call the space station, and I can let other businesses pick up my representation of an account. So if I'm Salesforce, I publish my data model. Instead of developers trying to reverse engineer an API, figure out how to store that data, figure out how to manipulate it, I can publish all that information already. And I can let people come to this, figure out how to copy, you copy the space into your local environment, but figure out how to work on it on your own. And then basically they have a way to share information with me that previously was very, very difficult. There's myriad articles on Stack Overflow. People are constantly asking for help. How do I model an object? How do I write a performance statement? How do I know how to put together the correct infrastructure to give me full text access for searching? To give me really fast access. So VoltDB is like one of the fastest databases around right now. It's one of the leaders in the NoSQL database market. And yet, there's a lot of developers that are having trouble figuring out how to put together enough infrastructure to really power very simple applications. There's backend as a service companies that are trying to make that easy for mobile developers. And in a lot of those cases, what they're finding is once they get beyond the very simple get and put requests that they have, so entire objects going back and forth, they're running out of room. And so what we provide is a way for you to take the next step and do really complex things, but making it very easy and actually rather fun. So I'm going to stop and ask if anybody has any questions this morning. Yeah?
You're awesome.
My favorite question ever.
Where can I sign up for my account?
You can actually, so yeah, the sales guy would kick my ass right now. You can go to try.akiban.com. It's wide open. I'm the product guy with the company. Ori is the founder, and we have one other guy, Greg, who is our sales guy. We're the three people that you talk to if you ever get in touch with the company. You can go right up here into the top. You can click on the big garish orange button, which is my idea of design. And you can click on any of those things, log straight into your account, and start coding. If you have any problems, We have a team of developers who's dying to help you, and they really are. These guys work all hours of the day and night. We try to get them to take vacations. They won't. We actually have to do the opposite of what Silicon Valley did. We don't have an optional vacation policy. We have a mandatory vacation policy. We send people home for a few days every once in a while. Any other questions that I can answer? Yes?
It looks like you're using snapshots of where the database is and then you import it.
So we actually did have a go-to-market before that was doing live replication from MySQL and Postgres, and it was a nightmare, so we stopped. It's possible, and we can do that for you. We can license it for you, but most people that have done that have actually asked us to engineer them a solution that lets them take an entity basically and store it separately and work on it separately. Any other questions? Yes? We've actually pivoted, so like any good startup, we're failing fast on bad ideas. We have pivoted and we're recapping the company going for an A right now. Yes?
The challenge that I see with a lot of companies is that there are so few business models that actually match the big data drivers today of IT. And it seems like what's missing with a lot of companies is the data.
Yes.
How could this become a publishing engine for data to give companies the data resource?
So how can this become a publishing solution for companies, basically? We work with some folks in DC around Acquia and Drupal with the Open Data Initiative, for example, and this is a really easy way for them to load some data and make it public via the API, but I'm not sure that that's exactly what you're asking. I might want to circle back with you after this. Yes?
So is this just hosting for the data model, or is it for the data model and the data itself?
It is both the data model and the data.
Okay.
Yes?
Security concerns? What are you guys doing about that?
So we have, all of your data is going to be encrypted. We're storing everybody in the try, multi-tenant, but encrypted and fully partitioned. One of the benefits of the Akiban server technology actually is in the way that we store information and keep it completely siloed. So multi-tenant for medium and large goes away, and you get your own dedicated instances, either on Amazon or Rackspace today, and we're planning on branching out to other cloud platforms. All set. Thanks, guys.